YouTube, how's it going? John here at Herman Woodworks. And as we creep up on the new year, I'm really trying to hold myself to getting some of these projects done that have kind of been floating in limbo. One of them I started a while ago was a cherry live edge slab floating shelves here in the bathroom. I did also another video on the Wallabot DIY stud finder. I have these tape marks kind of indicating where these shelves are going to go. Let's take a look at the slabs, take a look at what we got measured out here. All right, I've already marked where we have a stud here, stud there, got my measurement. Ultimately, the easiest thing I'm going to do is I took these slabs and put them on here and have some marks indicated on here where I want it to be. I will show you the hanging hardware we got here in a second, but it's easier just sometimes to put the actual wood on the wall, see what you're looking at. Let's look at this hardware. All right, so I also did a video a while back on a Rockler portable drill press, and that's going to be super important on this because this is almost a 7-inch hole I have to drill, really straight into this. So, found these on Amazon. So these are going to mount on my center line of my stud here. You're going to have to make sure you get some good screws on these. Home Depot sells one called GRK fasteners. I'll show those later in the video here. They're actually shear rated. I mean, you're going to have 4 of these. Ultimately, you're not going to have, hopefully, any more than 40 pounds on these. They're rated for almost 1,000 for just total shear. So we should be good on that by the time we get 4 of these. But I opted to put them this way. I could have mounted them like this where they would have been hidden in the slab, but then I really wouldn't have had any kind of good shear load on this. I mean, I suppose I could have mounted them like this so it was pressing against the wall, but I don't really trust that. By doing this, I'll get a lot more shear force, shear strength force. It's going to tab above the wood just a little bit, but I'm okay with that. We'll show you. I actually have one all prepped and ready to save everybody the trouble of watching me do this. But let's actually take a look at the wood here. Actually, another thing to keep in mind when you're measuring and making your marks is you can see the actual bar that the wood is going to rest on is offset by 1/2 inch from the holes to the center of this. So when I show you the mark we're making, you'll see why I had to make some of the measurements we did. All right, out here in the garage, got this prepped up. It's cold as can be outside. Had the heater going a little bit earlier. Take the chill off in here, but this is one that's all done. Like I said, you're going to see there's going to be these little tabs, so it's not really a truly floating shelf, but I'm okay with that. I still have to do some of my final preparations, but being I was really going to be wrestling with these boards, I wanted to get this prepped up before we actually put the final coat on this and kind of put the final edge on this. So let me flip this over, show you what we got here. So what we're going to do is these bars, this is the bars, like I said, that slide in and out. And once they go in and I mount them, I put a hole sunk in where I'll be able to screw those in and lock it onto this so that it can't slide off the wall. So, and like I said, you can see here, if it'll zoom, what we have to kind of do. So the screws obviously will come back through here into the wall. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one mounted so we can get a look at that, and then I'll kind of walk you through how I did this. So, okay, this is the first of the 3. Just wanted to show exactly, like I said, this first one, how it's supposed to look. Then we'll go through how we make the other 2 that are going up here. This is the widest one. They kind of tear in about like an inch, inch and a half by the time we get to the top one. But yeah, like I said, that's all you're going to see exposed. And then underneath, same thing. And like I said, once I slid these on, tighten that up and it holds in spot. And I'll loosen it up to take the tape out of the way here first. But yeah. And because I know everyone always asks, this is hitting in the corner. I wanted it to actually have a little bit of space. Anytime, especially wood, and even within a bathroom, it's going to be in a bathroom. That's why I'm going to have to seal this thing big time. But you want to give a little room for expansion contraction, just to make sure that it doesn't end up pulling off a wall. If it was really tight up against that, it might bulge and push it this way. So yeah, want to give it a little room. Really happy how that's sitting. So let's go over the other ones. Okay, got the next floating shelf out here, viced up, and have some scrap pieces along the side because we have to account for this. It's about 1/8 of an inch. We're going to router that into that. But also I have them to give me a little extra thickness for when I put the portable drill on here. Gives me a little bit more of a platform so that I could drill this long straight line into that. I don't have the center of the board marked out yet, but wanted to go ahead and get this Rockler portable drill vise set up on here so you got an idea what it's looking like. You know, I'll mark the dead center of this whole thing. This has got lines on both sides so that I can line it up, and then by it sitting flat on this platform, you know, it's just going to guarantee that I go straight through this board. That way when I put these rods in there, it'll really mount just nice and perpendicular with the wall. So all right, so got the center line marked out. This is going to be where I'm going to drill this almost 7 inches in. Then we're going to router this out, and same thing down here also. That's going to be where I'm going to drill in. I'll do a video of me starting with the drill press. I'm not going to lie. The brad point bit that I have to start this is less than extraordinary, so I'm going to hit it with that just to get the mark started, and then I'm going to swap in my actual other 1/2 inch drill bit. It's a 1/2 inch drill bit that we're going to use for this, and then we're going to send it. All right, so that gets it about 5 inches in. So I'm gonna have to use the actual drill with just a bit on the extension to actually get the last 2 inches out of there and just kind of work that out. Set to an 1/8 inch just to account for that bottom plate. Okay, that gives me that keyway for that plate. I'm gonna go ahead and flip this over, knock all the sawdust out of there that went down in there, check to make sure they fit, then we'll go get this one mounted. All right, I lied because I've been doing a stop screw on it. So I took the center of this hole and I projected a line down this 3 inches. I'm going to go ahead and tap this in on both of these. That way I can put a screw in there and it acts as a stop for that bar so it can't pull off the wall. Ten by 3/4 wood screws. Just going to screw that in, but then back it out. So I just take these brackets, and you can just see my center line just above it. And then below it, I put this on here, made my marks, just used a small drill bit to get these started, then got these fastened. When I put them on there, I left them on there a little loose, because then what I do is take the shelf and get it on there so it has the right spacing before I start tightening it up, just because depending on how flat it is, if there's a little curvature, just to make sure that it's going up against here totally flat. Let me get it sitting up there so we get a look at it. So just like I was saying, I left these out a little bit. I was using a really long extension on my impact. Was coming in here like this, tightening those just to where they were hitting the wall, not super snug. And then I checked it by pulling the whole shelf back off and then tighten them up. So you'll have to check it for level. If you might have to drive one in, like the top in a little more to kind of help level it out in case these bars are a little off. But I checked it, that's nice and level. So we'll get to the next part. So got it right up against there. And once it's up against there, like I said, underneath, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these up. Then that stops that from coming off the wall. Okay, just to go over it again. So I'm taking this mount, holding it on the wall, setting the top of this. I have this tape already preset where I want the board to rest. So I'm putting that a hair above it, just so the board, since this sticks a little proud of the board on the top, but whatever you do, just make it even on both sides. So actually I'm gonna bump it down right there on the line. But then I make that center line going right through the holes, line it up, top and bottom. And I just kind of hold it. Then I take my pencil and just kind of put in the center of that hole. And then I'll take that away. And then I think I have like a little 1/8 drill bit. And I'm gonna send that through. And then with my really long extension on here, like I said, I just put it on there a little loose until I get the actual board sitting on it. So it's got a little place. When I get the board on there, I can true it up to how it wants to sit and rest. Do the same thing on the other side, then we'll get the board on there. Nice and level. All right, that wraps it up for this part of it, YouTube. We're going to have a part 3 where we apply a wipe-on polyurethane to seal these up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. This is probably going to be the last video for 2022. I look forward to seeing everyone in 2023, producing some more videos. If you're new, we kind of do a lot of, or I do a lot of woodworking videos, some homesteading, tractor, stuff like that. Anything really outdoors. I try to do everything from I don't know how you want to say, farm to table type thing, where I cut a lot of the trees, mill a lot of the stuff, and end up making the stuff myself. So if you want, check it out. Please subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications. And it's been awesome, you two. We'll see you again next year.